So, I've been, since a child, working for charities, scrubbing people's floors, donating to charities, raising money for charities, all to help these individuals. So I take time out of my life to scrub their floors, to clean their house. I was part of the moving ministry. Yes, we move people. The moving ministry at Harvest in the suburbs, moving people for free. Do you know how many people I moved? I moved Costa. I moved so many of my friends for free. I moved, after we were done, me and my brother John, we were done moving our stuff. We had our truck, and we had these two Asian kids that I knew through Lakeview, and they were moving, and we helped them finish their moving. So do you know how many people? Mike Davis, I moved back from Arizona to Chicago. Colby Pingle, I moved back from Arizona to Chicago. I moved back several other people from across country back to Chicago. Across country. How many people have helped people sacrifice their time and move people for free across country? They don't buy you drinks. They don't buy you meals. They don't buy you anything. You help load their trucks, and then you drive back with them, and then you help empty their stuff. And I move people across country for free. Cross country for free, because they didn't want to drive alone, because they wanted security. They didn't want to be alone and drive across country alone. Do you know how many times I drive across country? When I moved myself back from Arizona, multiple times actually, I did it all by myself. No one helped me pack. No one drove with me across country. But numerous people I helped pack. I helped drive across country for free. For free. I helped unload them when they get here. And then in this city, I helped so many people move. And I was part of the moving ministry at Harvest to help people at the church move for free. And this is in my downturn, where I need to use that money, that time to make money for me. See, you get this. And so you get all of this that I've been doing my whole life, and all you do is beat on me and fucking terrorize me. But does anyone talk about how many people I move for free across country? The numerous people I move for free across country? The numerous people that I put up in my house for free? Do you know I had people that I moved in, like Paul Dajek, that live with me for free? That I provided him food and TV and everything, you name it. People moved in with me for free. I took care of all the bills. I had the work. And I provided them housing for free. For free. And I have to go to school full time, and I have to work. And I did it as a favor to them. And put food in there and paid the bills. They were free. They come and go. No contract. Other people like Eric and Derek and whatever, providing for them. Truly putting down the security deposit, cleaning the places, truly cleaning all the general bathroom. They didn't do anything. I did it all. So I did that all for free. And then I spent more than a decade, decades actually, I should say, in here in Chicago, driving around and helping the homeless and giving them resource books, calling the Department of Human Services so they could get picked up and moved off the street, helping them, right? For free. No matter what my situation was, I helped them. No more. I consider them pieces of garbage and filth, just like these two up here, racing around the city. The Fast and Furious. So it's interesting. And I did that all for free. All these people lived with me. I mentored people. I took them under my wing. I gave them jobs. I gave my brother a job as a barback. I hired him. I gave Jeremy a job. I gave this guy Rich a job. All these people that didn't have it, and I mentored them and showed them. And I employed them in their hard times because I was the one. And then all the alcoholics I watched over and made sure they didn't get fired. Watching over them, taking care of them. Truly resolving their issues with their girlfriend or resolving their employer issues or whatever it was. Always doing this all my time. Like my girlfriend Jennifer, my relationship would have been incredible if I wasn't off doing charitable work, or she didn't give a shit that I went on missions overseas or anything else. That didn't build her up. We were already dating. That took time away from our relationship. It didn't strengthen our relationship. It weakened our relationship. What would have strengthened our relationship was time with her. Being with her, hugging her, kissing her, hanging out with her, going to dinner with her, being with her. Look, another piece of garbage here. So, again, it wasn't... So, I watch all these people and they say, oh, here's some homeless guy. Why isn't these people helping? Why isn't those people helping them? Truly, why isn't the taxi cab driver helping them? Hey, I can take you over the urban ministry, the taxi cab driver. Truly, picking up the bum, having relations with urban ministry, Pacific Gardens. If you see a homeless person, bring them over for intake, and we'll pay for the cab ride over. We'll provide them free cab ride. You just pick them up and bring them over, and we'll pay for the cab ride. So if you see them on the street, tell them you're working with the service. Here's the pamphlet, or show them the video, and the taxi cab driver can take them right over to the intake, or at Salvation Army can take them right over. The Salvation Army pays them for the ride. And so they can go around, flash cab and all that, taking them off the streets. Very easy solution. And all it costs is paying for a cab ride. They're all over the streets. They see them and be like, hey, you seem like you're in need of shelter and that. We have this service. We give free cab rides to the shelter. And we give it to you. Let's see these black kids over here eating pizza. Did they help the black bum that was over here? Did they? I don't think so. But again, getting back to it, so all these organizations, the taxi cabs, They can just set up with the taxi cabs, working with them, and the taxi cabs can pick them up. The cab driver makes money, gets do, re, mi, fa, so. And if they make a mess, they'll give them money to clean up whatever mess they make in the cab. And they can take them off the street. And this can be a global thing, working with shelters all over the world. You see somebody on the street in need, here you can play the video, you can give them the pamphlet, and if they don't, at any time, just call the cab number and a cab will come over and pick you up and take you to the shelter. You get a free cab ride right to the shelter, and then they'll do the intake. Right? Solves the problem. Pretty easy solution, right? You can do it with rickshaws in Vietnam or whatever. Truly. It's an easy way to find the people and get them off the streets. But do you see this black guy? I think he looks black or whatever he is. Is he helping? Is he a part of the solution or part of the disease? Because all these people are part of the disease, not the solution. That's why you get this. So they're not part of the solution. And the paramedics and police, they're far from the part of the solution. They're part of the disease. They don't look at... You're just a fucking meal ticket. They're not looking to solve your problem. They just pick you up from part A, take you to part B, and dump you off. They're not looking to solve your problem. They're looking to take you from one place and put you in another place, and that's it. They're not in for the solution. They're not looking to solve the problem. Fitness Formula Company. This is where I used to do martial arts, jiu-jitsu. But my nephew Larry, he quit on me. Here's First Saints. He quit. My sister talked me into it. That was during my breakdown in the summer. And my sister talked me into joining, going down here and being with little Larry and, getting involved in jiu-jitsu to help out with my issue. So that was before the TMA, the Total Martial Arts, that I joined to do Hapkido at Belly's. I joined to do Gracie Jiu-Jitsu from Gracie, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I had to join the FCC because if I didn't be a member of the gym, I couldn't join the martial arts studio. So it was bundled together. So I joined the FCC, picked up that membership, and then I joined the Gracie. And then I had to buy a gi, the uniform. That was several $100 because if you understand judo and jiu-jitsu, they're not like Hapkido or karate in that. You're not constantly pulling on the uniform. But in jiu-jitsu and judo, you're pulling on the uniform. So the uniform is much heavier and thicker because you're grappling and you're constantly pulling on the uniform. And so with martial arts uniforms like karate and that, they're thinner, they would tear. Not initially, but after time they wear down easy and they tear. So for judo and jiu-jitsu, they have incredibly thick, strong gis, strong uniforms. So you can grab them and throw people and they won't tear. But I had to join that. And what does my nephew do on me? After I join and everything, he quits. No big deal to him. But I don't have money. And my sister convinced me to join. And my nephew Larry, he bails on me. After my sister convinces me to join and do jiu-jitsu with Larry, and then Larry tells me he's leaving, I wanted to knock his teeth out. What do you mean you're leaving? You have an obligation to stay here. But no one knows obligations. That's why I have abandonment issues, because everybody just takes off. They don't give a shit. They anchor me down, they lock me up, and then they take off. So they can go and do their shit, but they're the ones who cause me the problems. Me, I solve their problems. They cause me the problems. So a big difference, right? So it should be me free and them enslaved. But it's all backwards. It's me enslaved and them free. They have a debt to pay. They have to be enslaved. That's how it's supposed to work. And I'm supposed to be set free. I have no debt to pay. But instead, you keep on trying to enslave me. And you keep on racking me up with debt. And making it that I have the debt to pay. Where I don't have any debt to pay. You have the debt to pay. And you won't atone, and you make my life a living hell with your terrorist activities against me. And I do mean terrorist activities. You meet the definition of pure freaking terrorist. Like this guy right behind me. Flying up on you. Here, let me move over so you can see the piece of shit that's been terrorizing me. So there's their plate, EY 9299. So you can just do this all day, all night. Terrorize me and make my life a living hell. I just gave you a solution for the homeless situation. And it's very easy. And I guarantee you the Salvation Army, pads, urban ministry would pay for the taxi fee. Truly. And if they make a mess, a few bucks to clean up. No big deal. And they're off the street. The problem's solved. But again, so all the people I moved free, all the people that I housed for free, I fed for free. I used to come down here for years. My friend Costa at the University of Arizona, I took him out. I paid for everything. And then here in Chicago, I took him and gave him VIP entrance to all the clubs. I paid for everything. Truly. These people just discard me. My friend Tom Selke, the same thing. I come down and I bring him out to meals and I pay for everything. I pay for the movies. I pay for everything. And I've done this with all these people. And I do the resume for free. Oh, yeah. I put their resume together for free. And not only do I put their resume together, I post their resume on sites for free. I send it to my friends who work in different industries for free. And I get people jobs. I've gotten lots of people jobs, sending their resumes off of people. I put their resumes together. They don't even have resumes, like Tom Selke and Danya and all that. They don't even have resumes. And I sit there and I put together their resumes for them. So they have a resume. And if they need a cover letter, I put together the cover letter. I do it all for free. And Danya, she's a Asian girl. Not only did I put all of her resume together for free, and I sent it out to companies, and I posted it for her, but also I would take her out to dinner. I paid for all the dinners with her. I would come down into Chicago and take her out to dinner. And we would go to Chinatown. I took her to sushi at Billy Deck's place. I forget what it's called now. And I took her all these different places. And I did introduce her also to Celebrate Recovery to see if she wanted to go. She was having some mental health issues, and I introduced her to Celebrate Recovery, but she chose not. But I was there for her, trying to help her. And I do all this for free. Like Agnes, another Asian girl. She was having issues. And I would counsel her at 2 and 3 in the morning. I got to get up at 6 in the morning. And Agnes would call me after midnight, and I would pick up the phone every time because I knew she was going through a hard time. And yes, it was kind of frustrating for me. And yes, I needed to sleep, but I would go without. And I would counsel her on her situation, and I helped her, and then she went into Alexian Brothers, and she followed my guidance, and things got better for her. And I did it all for free. Truly. No issues. It was for free. I didn't request anything of her. But all I wanted people to treat me with dignity and respect. Is that too much? That I shouldn't be hassled? That people should have dignity and respect for me? And treat me with courtesy? As I have with them? So, but I do all these things to get people employed, and I've been doing this forever. Bill McDermott, his daughter, who he adopted, she's Asian, and he adopted her. He's white, his wife's white. He worked over in Asia, and he adopted his daughter. Her name's Alex, beautiful Alex McDermott. And I helped her. And I placed her resume and getting her opportunities. And now she's an orphan who was adopted by Bill and his wife when he was in Asia. So he was overseas. Now, I always thought that was awesome of Bill, that here he is overseas, him and his wife, and when they're overseas, they decide to adopt a child. And then when they move back to the United States, they bring Alex back to the United States, and she grows up here. I haven't seen her in a long time, and meaning images of her, so I don't know where she is. But last time I saw her, she's a very attractive young lady. But I helped him out. I helped all these people out. And I set them up, and I help them out, and I solve their problems. And I do this for free in all the places that I was with. You know, helping all these people out with all their problems. Like the people at Bags that used to do luggage delivery with me. helping out with the different issues with the luggage delivery service and solving those issues and helping out with, the business and everything else. And through my friend Lance, we were looking at actually purchasing the luggage services, the luggage delivery services, and taking it to other airports. But not just for lost bags, for people to have their luggage picked up at their house and taken to the airport in advance, scanned and ready and waiting. And then it would get put on the plane once they show up. And then when they get off the plane, they don't have to pick up their luggage. A service on the back end would pick up the luggage and take it from the airport to the hotel. All they have to do is get off the plane and go to the hotel. The luggage will show up for them, be delivered to them. It's picked up at the airport and then delivered to the bellman at the hotel or the front desk, and then they take it to the room. So we were going to purchase these luggage services. But here's another jerk off on me, tailgating me. It just goes on and on. Seriously evil people. There's no reason to tailgate anyone. I'm doing 25 miles an hour, 22 or so. I don't need to be flying down the streets of Chicago. The few miles an hour, it isn't where there's a second and the person's going to die. So it's more like somebody, if you're driving that way, you're going to hurt them. And maybe it's you and that gets severely injured. But let's go back to the luggage delivery. So we were in to buy that. Lance, I was in to buy another bar in Tucson. We looked at buying together. And I forget what it was. And then my friend Adam, we tried to buy one across the street on a bar in Chicago. I forget the name. And then I had other friends that we were trying to acquire things with. Now, these deals didn't work out, but it wasn't because of me. But anyways, the luggage delivery service. So it's not about lost bags. It's about convenience and having your bags picked up and dropped off. So when you come back home, when you're leaving the hotel, the bags are picked up before you leave and are taken to the airport. And they're checked in for you and scanned. And then when you get off the plane and get home, the bags are picked up and delivered to your house. So the bags are picked up from your house, taken to the airport. You arrive at your location. The bags are picked up at that location and delivered to your hotel or your Airbnb. And then when you leave the Airbnb, they're picked up before you leave and delivered to the airport. And then you get off your plane, you go to your home, and the bags are picked up at the airport and delivered to your house. You don't have to do anything. See, all these units down here. So, renovating them, putting them on the market, right here on the river. I need to get over it because I don't want these people tailgating me, harassing me. What they do in Chicago, harass Michael. These dim-witted, low-life rejects. Truly. Now here, I took Jen here, and I went here with my small group. They have, this bowling alley really has Cosmic Bowl, where they have the mood lighting and everything else. And so open lanes, but let's see if they got the Cosmic Bowl comes on. Yeah, there it is. You can see that Cosmic Bowl. Cosmic Bowl, 8 p.m. to midnight. So this place does something different. And it's the Diversity Rock and Bowl. But again, it's a good concept. It's very good for teenagers, preteens, even preteens can go. It's from 8 p.m. So they can go from 8 to 10. Teenagers can go. Adults can go in their 20s. And I took Jen there. We had a good time going bowling. Actually, in the summer, about just before my, during 2005 summer, when things were going awry, I wanted to do something to get us, and she beat me. And I think she had 130, I had 110. But anyways, we went bowling, and she enjoyed it. I could do that. I played tennis with her. I could go bowling with her. If I wanted, I could play video games with her. We go jogging together. She'd go to the gym with me. We go to yoga together. If I wanted to talk finance, she was more than able to talk finance. She was very good in all those things. Made our relationship very good. She's very wise. So she was good. But again, doing things like my mother loves Golden Nugget. I don't go into Golden Nugget, too many issues. I avoid places that have issues. I have enough issues in my life. Why do I want to go into your place and experience issues? I go into your place so I can experience happiness and joy and relax and be in comfort. Not to go into your place and experience being mistreated and screwing up my order and overcharging me and everything else. That's the farthest thing from hospitality. Hospitality is about bringing joy and happiness, not misery. Like I come down here to Chicago. I don't live in Chicago, and there's no hospitality. All they do is make my life one big misery. Constantly harassing me, tailgating me, and harassing me in every form, making my life unbelievably miserable. And where's the holiday spirits? Thanksgiving's coming up. Goodwill to men, meaning being good to each other. Where's this? Another piece of garbage tailgating me that they're so important. The G32 6107, I think, Illinois. But again, where's the goodwill to men? Where is the hospitality? Truly. Where is that? Where is the joy? Where is the hospitality? Where is the pleasure in being alive? Where is the happiness and joy? Remember, in the Bible, it says life is a blessing. And also in the Bible, it says your cup floweth over. So life's supposed to be a blessing, and your cup is supposed to flow over. So it says that in the Bible. God created the Garden of Eden. And the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve had everything. Their cup floweth over. God wanted man and woman to be incredibly happy. Not sad, not trauma, not hurting and beating and anything else. God set up it to be a perfect relationship in bliss, to become one, perfectly happy, perfect together. Me and Jen were moving our relationship to angelic. if I didn't have so many lying, cheating, thieving pieces of garbage. But here's where I used to live, on Logan. And so you have these churches. But the funny thing is, where's the holiday spirit? All these trees right here in the center of the boulevard, and I'll ride down the center on the way back. Here's a church right here. There's numerous churches right here. I think there's 4 or 5 churches. Yeah, I think there's 5 churches just right here off of Logan Boulevard. 5 churches minimum. There could be maybe 6, but I know for a fact 5. So, I mean, lots of churches. And you think they could go around and decorate these islands. Really, it doesn't need to be just lights on trees. These islands, they can put like Santa Claus's sleigh and the reindeer, and they can have different themes in each of these islands. They are islands. See, they're oval. They are oval, or you can call them a rectangle. So I guess you would say they're rectangle more than oval. But that was the start of the island. Here's the end of the island. And so in each of these islands, on each side, they can have a different theme that works together as one complete theme. And they can do it as a association of neighbors. So, and then here, there's a big center island down here. And I have to turn around, but I'll go around. Right here, I'll just show it to you. Right here is a big center island. And so they could have a big nativity scene right there, starting everything off. And 5 or 6 churches here work together as one. Truly. The 5 or 6 churches here on Logan and California and Chicago. The 5 or 6 churches here can work together as one. Let me go around the island. So they work together as one. And so these 5 or 6 churches take this island right here, this little center island, and they set up a nativity scene. See this island right here? I'm going around it. Here's another church right here. That's on the end of this. This is Kenzie. So Logan ends into Kenzie. That's where it ends. And so you have this little island, and they can start it off with the nativity scene with Jesus and everything else right here on the island. And there's these 5 to 6 churches here, and this is one of them right there. You can see it right there. And they work together as one body because they're all in the same area. So they can work together as one entity, one thing. Here, I got a stalker behind me. It's I think it's a Chicago police. Here, right there, the stalker, the Chicago police car. They don't want to go out and get bad guys. They just want to make my life miserable. And that's what they've been doing. They make my life miserable. They're pieces of garbage in my book. God's going to burn them all. So, anyways, they haven't made my life. They've made my life a living freaking hell. So, you got the center island. So, I tried to help and be good. I've helped many police. I hired police. I employed them. I gave them part-time jobs. I solved problems with them, whether it was pension problems or others. Where were they making my life better? But getting back to it, here's the island. And so each side, you see the island here. And you can see better here. There's one on this side and one on that side. And each of these would have their own theme. And back there is the circular island, and you start off with the nativity theme. And you do this all year, meaning all year. You can do this every year as a repeating thing, getting all these 5 to 6 churches involved. So there's, I think, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 on the main street of Logan. And then there's, I know for a fact, 2 off on the side street, just off of Logan Boulevard. So there's 6 churches. And if I'm missing one, there could be another. But they can work together as one body and create nativity things. And they can get Starbucks involved. Right here is the Starbucks on the corner. And they can get them involved and really make this and they can do this for the 4th of July. And that have some type of theme. They can do it for Easter, the 4th of July. I don't know about Valentine's Day, but the major ones, Easter, the 4th of July, and then going into Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. And New Year's, you can leave up all the Christmas stuff and just after Thanksgiving, but you can set up the stuff before and add to it before Thanksgiving, transition the Day of the Dead, Halloween, and transition some of Halloween into a theme. And so it rolls from Halloween into Thanksgiving into Christmas into New Year's. And this used to be the house that had all the ornaments and everything. Every year I used to go. So now it can just be a whole block theme. And here's one of the churches that I used to be part of. I used to sell papers outside of for the 2 morning services. I would get here as a child, dropped off by my boss, Chris Karras, who had one of those newspaper trucks, you see with the Sun-Times and Tribune in Chicago, and they're the same in other cities. And so, again, this is another church right here. And so you have all these churches, and I used to be right next to the steps on the side, on this side, the outside, where you see there is a stanchion and everything right there. I would set up right in front of that little, I guess, I don't know, that cement circular thing. So, and I would set up the papers there, and people going into service or coming out of service would buy. So most people bought when they left. Some people bought when they were coming in. But I was only there for the morning, for the first 2 services. So there's an 8:30 and a 10:30 service. And so the 10:30 would let out at noon, and then I would pick up and go, and I would be moved to another location for the afternoon because they didn't have any more services. So I would be here about 7:30 in the morning, set up at 7:30 in the morning with my Sun-Times and Tribune, And I would only be here on Sunday. The Sunday paper's thick, both for the Tribune and Sun-Times. It's where it has all its, you get the TV guide in it, and you get all the ads in that. So it's thick for all kinds of, coupons and everything. So I would only be here on Sundays from 7:30 to, I think, 12:30. Yeah, 7:30 to 12:30, because it gets out at 12. The 10:30 start, it got out at 12. So I was here from 7:30 to 12:30 selling papers on Sunday. And then I got done here, and he moved me to another location because they didn't have afternoon ones. If they had afternoon, then I would just stay here all day. And so if I had to go pee, I would go pee inside the church. But I don't think once I ever had to go pee. But they have the skateboard park. And here, you can skateboard all year round. Because what did they do? And this is good thinking. Under a bridge, you have the skateboard park. But a skateboard park can be skateboards and BMX. Now, they graffitied this up, which I don't know. They're trying to make it more hip. But the skateboard park can be used for both skateboards and BMX bikes. So the BMX, you have the pegs on the front wheels and the pegs on the side of the front wheel and the pegs on the side of the back wheel. And so you do same kind of movements in that, but you don't flip over the BMX bike per se, turn it the same way as a skateboard, but you can do a lot of similar tricks on the BMX bike that you do on the skateboard. The one thing you can do on the BMX is you can bounce the bike with the tires. You can bounce. You can do some things that the skateboard can't technically do. But now if you put inflated tires on the skateboard, they have the hard rubber, but if you put like tires that you fill up with nitrogen on the skateboard, then it would give them a little bit more spring. And so you would have inflated tires on the skateboard. And who can sponsor the skateboard park? Right here, the movie theater. So this is the Logan movie theater. I used to take Jen to this. And we used to go, before the movie, we meet our friends. So no one does this, but right here is the Burger King. And so this is Sherbert and Western Avenue, and right here's the Burger King, and then here's the movie theater. And now you're saying, well, we still get popcorn and that's dessert, popcorn and soda. And so we go to the Burger King, we meet, and we eat before the movie. We have, hamburger and soda and fries, and then we go over to the movie theater and get some popcorn and soda for the movie, or Twizzlers or whatever, and go watch the movie. But we would meet at the Burger King. You think the Burger King has a deal with them? And this place I went with Jimmy. It's a high-end gastro pub. And then this place this is Joker's, but this used to be a barbecue place owned by Korean ladies, and I forget what it was called. And now I don't even know if it's still open. But a Korean lady owned it. It was called, Fat Willie's. But the movie theater here can work out a deal with Burger King. And Burger King can carry all kinds of cups. See, the thing is, with the movie theater here, and you can see the stuff in here, the different stuff, they can work out their own deal with the Burger King. Meaning, the movies they're showing, the AMC theater, can work out with Burger King They have cups for each of the movie in that. And you can see here Zootopia that's coming up. Zootopia. But this is not with the studio. The studio does a deal there. They have cups that go inside and so on. And then the studio they pick McDonald's or something to do their stuff with. They can do it with their local business. And they could choose that Burger King and make special cups for the different movies at this movie theater. So it would be done at the Burger King just with that Burger King. Not every Burger King, because there could be a McDonald's next to them, and they do it with a McDonald's. And there could be a Wendy's next to them, and they do it with a Wendy's. Or there could be some other independent restaurant right next to them, and they do it with the independent restaurant. And they sell these cups. And if you buy the cup at the Burger King, you get, like, Coca-Cola has a deal with Great America. It's just in Chicago, Great America, and you take the Coke can up to Great America and you get a discount on the Great America ticket. But it's only here for Great America here in Illinois with Coke. And it's done through the local Coke distributors in Illinois. So it's not anywhere else. It's not Coke in Iowa for that distributorship or anything else. It's done through the Coke distributor here in Illinois. And you buy the Coke and you take it to Great America, which I did take the Coke can to Great America, and you get like $10 off the ticket. It was a good discount, $10. And so, but it was only Coca-Cola here, and it was a direct deal with Great America in Gurnee. It was just between the distributor here and Great America and Gurnee, not with Coke nationally or internationally. It was just a local deal, and that's what I'm talking about. So this movie theater would cut a local deal with that Burger King, and that Burger King would be able to do this and have these unique cups for each of the movies that are showing here at the movie theater. So it could be for their, whatever. They have a root beer float or something too. But again, they work together. And so if you purchased a cup, you could refill it maybe at the movie theater. And so you have to buy a refill fee, but you buy it there and then you get, say, 10% off of using the same cup to refill your soda. So you get a discount and you just bring the cup with you. That way you're going to keep the cup, right? You want them to keep the cup, take it across, and then they can refill here with soda, and they are able to refill for a 10% discount or a 20% discount. And then, or if you bring the cup over, you get a free Twizzlers when you buy a popcorn. Since you bought the cup, you're not giving a discount. You give a item then, a free Twizzlers. And you can move it around, sometimes a free Kit Kat, sometimes a free Twizzlers, and that, and then you have to buy a popcorn. And then you get the free refill. So you buy the popcorn, you get the free Twizzlers, and you get the refill. So they can work out that kind of local deal. And just for this movie theater, but this movie theater, and it has a game room, and I like going into the game room, but they should advertise that on their tickets, that come down early and you can play in the game room. Since you bought a ticket, they would make it cheaper. Not more expensive, cheaper. And so come down early or stay later after the movies. I would take a date there. that would be great. We come in early to the movie. We go across the street, eat some Burger King, go into the movie theater early, play some video games together, go watch the movie, come back out, and play some video games again before we leave. Me and Jen played video games together. Not at home, but when we were out, we did it with the turkey trolley. And we played video games together. But there's the skateboard park that's around the corner. See, here's the terrorist right behind me. And so, Chicago terrorist. Here, you gonna hit me? There's the terrorist. Again, another terrorist. See, here's the skateboard park. So, the movie theater can sponsor the skateboard park and the BMX here. Truly, the movie theater can sponsor it and maintain it. The movie theater sponsors and maintains the skateboard park, skateboard and BMX park. And it's all year round because it's under the highway, so it's protected from the rain, protected from the snow. Now, it gets cold there, but they can put up heaters there on top of the bridge, where the bridge is, and they can put heaters up there. And they can sponsor it, the movie theaters, and they put the heaters up there. And the heaters can heat up the park. So in the wintertime in that, you can go out there and skateboard and BMX. Giving it a little of what they do in California, this all year round, being able to take out your BMX bike and skateboard. And right over there, and this is part of the feature of the Logan Boulevard, adding to the value of the property. And so this is Logan in California, but that movie theater there and that, these things can be done. So we have the terrorist I have to deal with every time I shoot these videos. It's Chicago. Chicago's idea of hospitality is to terrorize the shit out of me. There goes the terrorist driving down that way. He's right there in his little truck, little freaking terrorist. But look at me. I'll pull up and I won't get behind him, but I'll get right here and then I'll wait. I don't need to get right on top of them. And they can open up restaurants in here. This building can be restaurants. It was a place for, men, but now it can go in and be, restaurants can go into it, and there's some other things. There's Planet Hell. I don't call it Planet Fitness. I call it Planet Hell or Planet Satan. This place, piece of garbage. I would close down this and open up an export or something else. There's one down there, but I would get rid of Planet Fitness. I would pull the business license if I was the alderman and find some other gym. But I would get rid of Planet Fitness. There's many others. LA Fitness can come in. Many other fitness organizations. So I would yank their license.